Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Law Firm Marketing Mastery Podcast, where we help you get your law firm working for you. I'm your host, Christopher Small, and I'm really excited about today's topic. Today's topic is something I'm always thinking about, always trying to learn more about, and always tweaking. Today, we're talking about website design. Here we go. When I talk about website design, I care about three things: SEO, call to action, and tone of voice. If you can get these three elements perfected, your phone will be ringing off the hook for business. And let's talk about each of them specifically. First, SEO. What is SEO? All right. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And I've talked about that a lot here on the podcast. It's gone through a bunch of changes since I started, and I'm sure it will continue to evolve. But generally, when we talk about search engine optimization, what we're talking about is trying to get your website towards the top of the search results, like on Google or Bing or Yahoo or someplace like that. So think about whatever you do. Let's say you're a Houston real estate attorney, right? You want to try to make it so when somebody types in Houston real estate attorney, that you show up at the very top of the list. That's what search engine optimization is. That is the act of kind of making your website show up in those places. All right. And there's kind of old school SEO, which old school SEO was just all about keywords. It was all about writing on your page as many times as possible: Houston real estate attorney, Houston real estate lawyer, Houston real estate attorney, real estate lawyer, blah, 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 blah. And writing that over and over and over again, because what Google would do is they would scan your website, and then they would see those keywords over and over and over again. And that would tell them that that's what your site was about. And the more weight that the Google robots that track your sites give you, the higher you rank. All right. New school SEO, though, is different. It's much, much different. New school SEO is more related to content. Yes, they want to know what you are about, what you're talking about, what your subject matter is, but they want to make sure that you're not some crazy spammer that's just trying to get up the search engines to take advantage of people. So what they've done is they've tried to eliminate all of the easy ways to fool their search robots. And basically, at the end of the day, that means you have to be creating content, you have to be doing things like that to have good search engine optimization. Basically, you're going to have to put in work to do that. All right. Within SEO, there are really two kinds of SEO. There is off-page SEO and there's on-page SEO. Off-page SEO refers to the art of getting backlinks from other websites, things like that, right? So that would be where you call me, for example. You say, hey, I want to write an article on your blog, and at the end, I want to put a link to my site so that if people want to know more about it, then they can find me. Those links, the things that point back to those other websites, Google gives those weight because those are essentially votes for you from other people that you are credible, that you're a trusted resource, that you know what you're talking about. So the more links that you have from other places, the higher you'll be on the search engines. The more votes that you've gotten, the more weight that Google will give you in your site, and you'll go up. On-page SEO refers to what you can do on your actual website to promote a rise in the search engines, and that's what we're going to talk about today. All right. And now, if you don't know already, SEO is a very important thing, a very important element of your business. It's not the only element, but it's very, very important. It can give you a lot of exposure to people that wouldn't otherwise know you. And, your website acts as a vehicle to get people down the funnel and get people into your office and get people paying you as clients. All right. Okay. The other thing to remember with SEO is that for the most part, machines or computer programs are evaluating your sites, not people. So you have to give them what they want to rise in the search engines, and then you also have to give your potential clients what they want. so that they will call you once they get to your site. And that's when we talk about that voice, which is the third element that we'll get to in just a little bit. All right. So let's talk about some good elements of on-site SEO for your website. And these are pretty easy. You may have already heard these before, but if not, that's great. The first thing is that you do want to use some keywords on your homepage. And a keyword is, that thing that people are searching for you in Google, right? So for me, it would be something like Seattle personal injury attorney, Seattle car accident lawyer, Seattle DUI lawyer. You want to use those on your page at least once or twice, just so that it's there. Okay, just so that Google knows that's what you're all about. Now you don't want to use it too much because that's a bad thing, which we'll talk about. But you do want to make sure that you let Google know who you are and what you do. All right. The second element that you want to have is you want to have title tags with your keywords in them. Okay, so these are called H1 tags, which you don't really need to know about necessarily, but you want to make sure that your headlines of your copy have your keywords in them, from time to time. They don't have to have them in there every time, but you want to make sure that they are in there and that you're using them. Because again, the headlines, Google gives a little bit more weight to than just the text. And so you want to make sure you've got your keywords kind of interspersed throughout there to let Google know what you're talking about. The third element of good on-site SEO is fresh content. Okay, so you want to be uploading, you want to be writing blog posts, weekly at least, I would say. You want to be changing, you want to be updating your content. You want to be fresh because that's what people do, right? Things are changing, and so Google recognizes that people with fresh sites that are updating their content are probably not spammers, right? Which is one of the main things that Google is trying to figure out. They want to figure out. They want to answer people's questions with the first search result, and they also want to eliminate spammers and people that are just trying to game the system. All right. So let's talk about real quickly some elements of SEO on your website that you do not want to have. Right. The number one element is keyword stuffing. Okay. Keyword stuffing is, like I said, when you write down Houston real estate attorney over and over and over again, many, many times. You don't need that in there. That doesn't work anymore like it used to. And in fact, it will hurt you because the Google bots that roll down your site, they're looking for those things that are outside of the normal range of speech. So unless for some reason people would be saying it over and over again, then you shouldn't be saying it. What you want your website to have is a conversational kind of a tone. And when you do that, then that will draw your readers in, and it will look good to the Google bots too. Another thing that you don't want to do, you don't want to really do location stuffing. Okay. I see websites where it just says like Houston, I don't know the suburbs of Houston, but it would say like Houston real estate attorney, Houston suburb, insert the name, real estate attorney, and it would just have a long, long list of those locations, right, with the word. And you may want to have a page where you do that, but you certainly don't want to do it on the homepage, and because it just looks bad, it looks spammy, and if it looks bad, and it is bad, then no one's going to like it. Google's not going to like it, and your potential clients aren't going to like it. So don't do it. And then the third bad element of SEO on your website is basically not to have anything at all, right? Not to have any descriptions about what you do or how you do it. And I guess another one would be too is to have too much there, Let's say you have 3 or 4 practice areas that you specialize in. I would recommend having an individual website for each one. And that's what I do. So if you are interested in me as a DUI attorney, then I have a website that's just completely devoted to DUI. Same thing with traffic tickets, same thing with PI, same thing with criminal defense. Okay. That allows you to, target specifically your potential client. It also allows you to really speak directly about that practice area and what you do, which Google will like because it will be very focused, very specific. That's a good thing. Okay. That's it for SEO. If you ever have any questions about any of the stuff that I'm talking about, you can always email me, chris@lawfirmmarketingmastery.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter @csmall. You can leave a comment to this blog post. There's a whole bunch of different ways to get in touch with me. So if you have a question, don't hesitate. Give me a call. I love to talk about this stuff, and I'd love to talk about it with you. All right. Okay, so the second thing is call to action, right? So you want to have a strong call to action on your website. If you don't, that's not going to be a good thing. Okay, so what is a call to action? A call to action is basically your direction to people, to your potential clients, on what they should do next. Okay, if you go to lawfirmmarketingmastery.com, you can see clearly my call to action is for you to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. Right, that's the thing that I want people to do. There are other types of call to actions, like a phone number with call now. You can have email contact forms, like fill this out and we'll call you back with your free consultation. You can do opt-ins on your own, whether it be like 5 tips to avoid a nasty divorce or 5 ways to increase your personal injury settlement. I don't know. But at the end of the day, the call to action is that thing that you want people to do next. Okay. And, a call to action is extremely important, because if you don't tell people what to do, they're not going to do anything except click out of your website and go to the next place. A strong, specific call to action is critical to getting people to take the next step for you. All right. Now, I know that you may be thinking to yourself, well, people know what to do when they go to a website. They know that if they want to get in touch with us, they hit the contact link and then that will take them to our phone number. That is not true. Okay. People love to be told what to do next, and they love to have it easy. They love to have it right in front of them, big and specific. If you don't believe me, then just what I want you to really do is be perceptive, about what you see around in your own life, right? Think about the marketing messages that you see. Think about everywhere you go, right? There's a strong call to action. Sale, come in now, 20% off. Call 555-5555 to get your free whatever, right? Strong calls to action are the name of the game. And if you don't have one on your website, on the front page, right up top, right away, then you're missing out. Okay, because people clicking on your website, they may want to take the next step right away. Hopefully, by the first thing that they see, they kind of trust you a little bit. They see that you're legit. You want to give them every opportunity to take the next step as quickly as possible. All right. Now, there are 3 main elements of a good call to action. Number 1, it's in a place where it can be seen. If you don't have a call to action above the fold on your homepage, which above the fold is what everybody can see on the home screen right away, right when it opens up, that's not good. You need to add that immediately. Okay. The second thing is that it meets the wants of your potential clients. Okay. If you have something that will get them to respond to you quickly, whether it's some kind of a free report or free giveaway, and you want to do that, then that's great. Estate planning attorneys, you could probably do this pretty easily. Real estate attorneys, you could probably do this pretty easily. If you know that people just want to talk to somebody quickly and they want to have questions answered, then put your phone number. Call now to have your questions answered with the phone number. That's as strong as and direct as it should be. And then the third element is it needs to be direct and straightforward. It needs to be big. It needs to be bold. Don't work it into your copy, right? Have it out there where it's easy to see and it makes it easy for people to take the next step. Okay, the third thing that I want to talk about with a good website is tone of voice. And I don't know if tone of voice is actually a really great description of what I'm talking about here, but it was the best I could think of on the fly. And as you listen, you'll get what I'm talking about. What I mean when I say tone of voice is, you have to remember all the time who you're talking to and what their problems are, what their fears are, what they're looking for from you, and then you have to give that to them, okay? You have to talk to them in their language. You need to use stories, right, and not legal gobbledygook, because people don't like that. For example, right, law firm marketing mastery in and of itself, hopefully from the moment you open the site up and you see the tagline, it's time your law firm started working for you. That you get immediately what this means. And we don't talk about, I could get on here and say, for example, when I was talking about the header tags that you want to have, I could say, you want to have H1 tags in your HTML and you want to make sure that you're doing this and that. But I don't do that because that's not what's important to you. That's not the main crux of the lesson. And if I start talking in HTML code, you're going to lose interest, and it's going to go over your head, and it's not going to resonate. Instead, what I do is I tell stories, right? I talk about the things that are happening to me. I talk about the things that I'm doing, and I talk about, at the end, I talk about how to do them, or I talk about how to get help doing them. But, you know, if you're not doing this for your clients on your website, then you're missing out. Okay. And here's some of the elements of good tone of voice on your website. The first thing is, right, it speaks to your audience. It answers their questions or fears. When people call you all the time, what is the first thing that they want to know, right? What is the biggest thing that they're afraid of? Those two things you should answer right away, right at the top of your website. You should say, I know you're feeling XYZ. I know you're thinking X, right? Here are the solutions to your problem. Here's how we can help you solve these. Here's what we do to get you out of this jam, right? Or to make sure that you're protecting your family, or to make sure that your insurance rates don't go up because of that speeding ticket, you know, or to make sure you don't go to jail. Whatever those things are, you need to speak to your audience specifically and directly. You know, the good example from this, right, is my law firm marketing website, right? It's time your law firm started working for you. If you're like a lot of people that I know, a lot of law firm owners that I know, you feel like you're spinning your wheels. You know, you feel like you're working hard and you're trying hard, but it's just not happening. You're not making the money that you want to make. You're not getting the clients that you want to get. And you know, the idea of opening a business for yourself, while at the beginning was romantic, and now it's kind of a chain, right? Holding you down. You don't know where you're going to go. You don't know how to get ahead of the game. And I can help you unbreak those chains, or break those chains, I guess. You know, unlock the locks that are holding you down. And that's what this site is about. That's what my site is about. And that's why I use the language that I do. You know it right away what we're about. And then, you know, the other thing is too, right? You want to talk to them, not at them, right? You want to simply your knowledge will establish your expertise. You don't need to use big words, right? You need to just act like you are explaining what you're doing to like a 13-year-old. If you can do that, then everybody will understand where you're coming from. It'll be broken down into nice, absorbable chunks, and people will be able to, they'll understand what you're saying, and your message will resonate with them. Okay. And then the last element of good tone of voice is talking in a language that they can understand. And again, this just goes back to using small words, right? You don't have to sound important for people to think you're important. If you walk in and say, hey, I'm a real estate expert, or I'm a real estate lawyer, and you have a suit on and you look nice and your office looks nice, or and your website site looks nice, and when people answer the phone, they sound professional, all those things leading up are going to establish your credibility. You're not going to need to use fancy words that people don't understand, that intimidate them, and that really scare them away. Okay, so don't use those words on your website either. Okay. An objection that I hear to this all the time is that, you know, it makes you look unprofessional. And what I mean by that is that other lawyers won't like what you say on your site. So my general rule of thumb is that if everyone else is doing it, then you should not be doing it at all. Okay, you should do the opposite, because if you're doing what everyone else is doing, then you're just going to blend in with everyone. It's going to make you extremely hard to get clients. It's going to make you extremely hard to differentiate yourself, and that's going to hold you back. The other thing I say when people ask me about this, is that, you know what, I don't care what other lawyers think of me, and I don't care at all, because they're not my potential clients. They're my peers, and I hope that they respect my abilities to be a lawyer, to practice law. But otherwise, I don't care what they think about me. I don't care what they think about my website, because everything I do to reach more people and to let them know that I'm there to help them, so that I can actually help them. That's what I care about. I care about helping my clients, and I want more clients. I want to help more people. I want more range. I want the ability to help more. And what I do does that. And if other lawyers don't understand that and don't get that, then I don't care. Okay. You know, the other thing that this kind of speaking in just normal language, using normal words, it will help you. It will help you stand out because people are afraid to do that. Another thing is that it will get potential clients nodding their head as they are on your site. Can you imagine the power of that? If they're reading what you have said, or they're watching your video, or they're listening to your podcast, and they are literally nodding their head and saying, yeah, exactly. That's exactly the way that I feel. Those are the exact problems that I have. This is the help that I need. That is powerful. And you can do that with your website. And then, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, your professionalism can be demonstrated in other ways. Your website will be professional. Your look will be professional. You know, the way that you answer the phone, the way that you handle your business will all be professional. And I guess the other thing I would say is that talking like this, using, you know, regular people words, it does not make you unprofessional, right? It just makes you unprofessional in the eyes of people with egos so big that they feel like they have to impress everyone, that they feel like if they aren't intimidating people with their words, that, you know, they're missing out. And hopefully you can let that go yourself and understand that it's not effective and that people don't care, and that, you know, just don't do it. Okay. That's it. Those are the 3 elements. Now I have a small call to action for you, something that I'd like you to try to do before, you know, maybe before the end of the week. You know, now that you've heard about these elements, I want you to think about how your site is doing. You know, are you breaking some of these big rules? Are you missing out on opportunities? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to hop on your website and look at it through the eyes of a potential client. Or you can have someone else look at it through the eyes of a potential client and think about whether or not it would move you to take the next step. You know, think about whether or not what the next step is clear. You know, and if it wouldn't, if you see some problems, if you see some holes, then plug the holes, right? Fix the website. All right. If your website isn't performing, do something about it. Start tweaking the copy or the layout. Add in more descriptive language. Include stories. Okay, stories are huge. Think about the things that resonate with you from everyone. Think about everything that we do is wrapped up in a story. So anytime you're doing something on your website, try to include a story if you can. Try to include something that happened somewhere that kind of works with your point. All right. Your website is no longer a brochure. It's an extension of you. Okay. You've got to treat it that way. Okay. That's it for today. But before I let you go, I want to talk to you about something special that I'm creating that I want you to be a part of. When I was starting my firm, and now that I'm building it, I feel like there just aren't enough good resources out there that help you build your law firm and give you specific action to get there. So I'm building one myself. It's called Law Firm Confidential, and it's launching on April 1st, 2014. Law Firm Confidential is the place I'm going to lay out everything I've done to make my firm a success. It's going to include videos. It's going to include checklists. It's going to include my own documents, so copy or docs of things that I use, scripts, forms that I use to get going. All right. If you're interested and you want to know more, go to lawfirmmarketingmastery.com/confidential, and you'll see a thing there where you can put your name and email address, and I'll send you updates about the site. I'll send you updates about how to get involved if you want to. And yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm done. Once again, I'm Christopher Small with Law Firm Marketing Mastery. If you haven't left me a review on iTunes yet, please go and do so. And if you have a question or want to say hi, you can email me at chris@lawfirmmarketingmastery.com. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Bye-bye.